Time spent on any project can be your best friend or your worst enemy. So in this video, we are going to discuss 5 different tips to optimize your UI UX design workflow, and we're going to talk about how to do more in less time. Hey designer, Alex here, welcome to the channel, and before we get started with today's video, make sure to check out my membership. Link is going to be down in the description below. Membership includes all of my courses, digital design products, private access to the Facebook group, practice files for my YouTube tutorials, and so much more. So if you're interested in content like that, make sure to check it out. Once again, link is going to be down in the description below. So the tip number 1 is to prepare the grid. No matter if you're using 12 column grid, 8 column grid, 8 pixel grid, no matter the grid you are using, make sure to always have it prepared. Make sure to have it prepared for each project, especially if your projects are repeating themselves, if you're in the same niche, if you're working with the same company or the same companies from the same niche. Make sure to always prepare the grid. That's just a small step, it's just a small fix, but it's going to really help you make those designs more consistable and make them look more coherent with the brand you're trying to communicate and the design you're trying to achieve. So always have your grids prepared, especially if they are repeating themselves and you're using the same ones all of the time. Tip number 2 is to create a library. You can create a library in Adobe XD, and that's what I'm doing, and I also created a design system using this same method and approach. I'm going to link it down below if you want to check it out, and it's called Inception Design System. I also have a course for it here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to link that down as well so you can check it out. But back to it, if you create a library with elements such as buttons, such as forms, headers, footers, hero images, and so much more, your work is going to exponentially be quicker to finish than if you're not doing those things. If some designers are thinking this is cheating, it's really not. I hate doing the footers, so I would much rather invest my time doing that hard work and create, for example, 10 or 20 different footer options, and then simply adjust those footer options for all of my clients and create them look much more differently than for the previous clients. So make sure to always create libraries, especially with the buttons, especially with headers, with footers, because those elements are basically the same for all of your clients. You're just going to change, for example, corner radius, you're just going to change the colors, you're going to add different background blurs or shadows for each particular client. So make sure to always have a library of those elements ready. It's going to really speed up your workflow. Tip number 3 is to organize your images. If you're working in the same niche with the same type of clients, make sure to always have your images prepared for the start of each project. What I like to do is I like to use Envato elements, and I always like to create collections there. For example, if you are in a tech industry, maybe you can create some sort of a tech image collection, and then, for example, maybe you can create a collection for men, collection for women, collection for office furniture, maybe collection for screens, maybe collection for people working with different devices. And then when you start a new project, you can simply copy those images, paste them into your Adobe XD, and then show them to your clients. Those images can be final images, but they don't have to be. Maybe your client didn't prepare their own images, so you can use those images as a placeholder. But you're always going to have consistent looking imagery with high quality in the same niche that your client is in, which is super easy to license, super easy to put inside of your project, and then you can either keep it or discard it later once they actually get their own images, or if they don't have it, you can just use those or similar one to those. Tip number 4 is use fewer artboards. When you can, make sure to create components and use component states. For example, for your buttons, for your animations, for your transitions, for your hover states, make sure to always use components and component states, because that's going to save you a lot of space in your Adobe XD document. And especially later when you have to share those assets with your developers, it's going to be much more simpler for you to export them or to just share one artboard, and then for them, because inside of that single artboard they can simply inspect all of the states of that particular component rather than going through all of these different artboards. Of course, in some case with some more complex animations you have to use different artboards, but even then make sure to use those artboards wisely and not to create too much, because it's just going to add complexity and size to your project. And finally, tip number 5 is utilize plugins as much as possible. You can use plugins in Adobe XD, for example, plugin like Lorem Ipsum, or for finding images or Lottie files. You can use those plugins to improve your workflow and increase your speed. And also, you're not going to deal with tedious tasks such as creating a copy at the beginning of the project. You can simply use Lorem Ipsum as a plugin. You can then share that with your clients before they get the copy, or if you are doing the final copy yourself, then it's going to give you a lot of time just to explain your ideas to your clients before you actually arrive to that final copy that you're going to use at the end of the project. So make sure to use plugins, make sure to utilize plugins. There are a bunch to choose from in Adobe XD. Make sure to integrate them into your workflow, especially the ones, for example, if you're using free icons, there are plenty of those. If you're using whiteboards, there are plenty of those. Lorem Ipsum or images, like I just mentioned. So there is plenty for everybody. Just make sure to utilize them and to increase the speed that you're going through these projects. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you found value in it. If you did, make sure to press that like button and to subscribe to the channel. I upload new videos every single week right here on the channel about Adobe XD, design, passive income techniques, and so much more. So if you're interested in content like that, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.